Hey guys, welcome to the channel, and what I have for you today is my review of the Sony BRAVIA Theatre Bar 9. Now this is Sony's flagship 2024 soundbar. They had a bunch of soundbars, the A2000, the A3000 and many other soundbars that launched in 2024, and one of the biggest USPs of buying Sony soundbars is the fact that most of them are modular. Now you do have something like the Sony HT-G700, for example, that is approximately at 40,000 rupees on Sony's own website. It's a great 3.1 soundbar, and you can't really upgrade it with the rare speakers if that's something that you want. But if you want to start off with a soundbar, maybe get a subwoofer later, maybe get the surround speakers later, then Sony has a fantastic suite of modular soundbars starting from the A2000. What we have today is the flagship soundbar. This is the BRAVIA Theatre Bar 9, and the one that I have is actually paired with the SW5 subwoofer, and on Amazon this goes for about 1,70,000 rupees, give or take a little up or down depending on when you are watching this. The bar alone on Amazon India is for about 1,14,000 rupees. Now straight off the bat, this is really expensive and really premium. Just to put things into context, the Samsung Q990D, which is an 11.1.4 soundbar, which means you get a soundbar with up-firing drivers, a subwoofer, and two rare satellite speakers with up-firing drivers for 90,000 rupees. And during the festive sale, the Q990D was down to almost 75,000 rupees. So that was a great bargain for that one. Here the bar alone is for almost 1,15,000 rupees, and we are going to get to the performance in a minute. But if you do not want to pair it with the bigger SW5 subwoofer, you can also pair it with the SW3, which is a slightly smaller subwoofer from Sony. And as far as the rare satellite speakers are concerned, you can get the RS3S, which are smaller satellite speakers for surround. Those do not have upward firing drivers. But if you want the full package, you can go with the RS5s, which are these really big round speakers from Sony. They almost look like, the older Sony HT-A9, which has been replaced by the Sony BRAVIA Theatre Quad last year. A bit confusing, I know, but the BRAVIA Theatre Quad has these 4 speakers that can be placed anywhere in the room, and then they kind of calibrate to give you the best surround experience. The RS5s look like the predecessor for the BRAVIA Theatre Quad, which was the Sony HT-A9, and it was actually a pretty fantastic set of speakers. I have reviewed those in the past, and I'm going to link to those in the description of this video. But coming back to the bar that I have right now, I have the Sony HT-A9000, which is the BRAVIA Theatre Bar 9. Let's just call it the A9000 for now. And the SW5, which is the big subwoofer. I do not have the surround speakers, and I'm going to get rid of the cons of not having the surround speakers right now. Number one, the IMAX mode on the soundbar, which is to give you the IMAX sound output, is not going to work without the subwoofer or the rear surround speaker. So even though this soundbar supports IMAX audio, it's not going to work without the full package. And the second thing is, this soundbar sounds really good, but you do miss the surround and the absolute immersive experience, especially if you have the space. So where does this soundbar work? And before we get into how it works, let's just quickly go into the number of speakers that it has and the setup. So the bar alone has 13 speakers, 13 drivers overall. And this includes some passive radiators. So you have about 7 drivers facing right in the front, that's facing you. You have about 4 drivers that are firing up top for the Atmos effects, and you have 2 drivers which are firing on the side for the surround effects. And without the subwoofer, you actually do get a pretty decent experience from this soundbar when it comes to the overall sound output. Setting up the soundbar is as easy as plugging in the HDMI cable into your TV. Plug the HDMI cable into the eARC port at the back, and you just have to open the BRAVIA Connect app on your smartphone, and the setup process is literally as easy as pressing next. There are times when you are actually asked to hold the phone up close to your face, kind of turn it around, remove the cover to calibrate the room audio, and I highly recommend you calibrate the room audio because this actually gives you the best output, especially for the surround effects. You can also add the subwoofer and rear satellite speakers later, once you've probably purchased them later if you haven't brought the bundle, or if you have less space and you decide to upgrade in the future. Adding speakers is literally pressing a few buttons on the app. Now, in the past, Sony has had some soundbars which actually give you an on-screen display when you connect them via HDMI. This one doesn't have it, and I kind of missed it because I like the on-screen display of Sony's past soundbars. But the fact that it's not here is not a big deal because everything happens from the app, and once you're done with the app, all you need to do is control the volume from your TV's remote control. Maybe you can resort to the app if you want some deeper dives, but I found that once I had set the soundbar to the levels that I liked, I did not go back to the app. I simply used the TV's remote control because of EARC and HDMI CEC. You can actually control the volume of the bar up and down with the TV's remote control, and I was all set. Now, when it comes to the actual performance of the soundbar, let's actually give you guys a demo of some copyright-free music and some games before I kind of tell you guys my experience for the performance of the soundbar. Okay, so let's start with the performance when it comes to movies. Now, if you watch a movie like, let's say, Top Gun Maverick, or if you're watching any action movie, even be it something like the likes of Spider-Man, Mission Impossible, Fallout, which is the Amazon Prime TV show, you're going to get a very good experience from the front. Now, the channel separation from left to right is really good, and in fact, even at higher volumes, the height from the front actually sounds like it is coming from a little bit on top of you. If you have the Dolby Atmos demo at your disposal, that is something that will kind of give you very good clarity. Now, the race at the 11-minute mark in a movie like Ready Player One, which I have in Dolby Atmos, is a great example of all these elements flying all over the place. You have rocks flying from left to right, coins all over the screens, vehicles moving left and right. And this portion right in front of me was absolutely full. Like, I could make out that the sound is coming from a little bit front left when a car was moving there, or a little bit to the front right. And it felt fairly immersive. The louder the volume went, the better the channel separation went, and that's just a testament to how good the soundbar is when you want that theatrical experience. But it also has a night mode, so if you are someone that's going to watch a movie in the night, those explosions are kind of reduced, and the low-end volumes like whispers and dialogues do come up, but you do miss out on the absolute surround experience, which I think is a fair trade-off, because to get those experiences, you need to switch off night mode, and you need to actually put the volume at least at about 40% of the soundbar to ensure that the bounced sound from the various drivers firing in different directions is coming to you. I do miss the surrounds because it feels like the sound is just here and not exactly here, so to speak. But that's probably the only miss. Now, we have seen other soundbars like the Sennheiser Ambio, for example, that's just a single bar without a subwoofer that can actually give you a better surround experience than the Sony BRAVIA Theatre 9 that I have here. But again, that is a fairly premium soundbar as well. So when it came to movies, the channel separation was great, but what was absolutely outstanding for the soundbar was the voice performance, the performance of the vocals, dialogues. Even when characters were whispering to each other, it was absolutely very, very clear, to the point where there are some movies and TV shows where I switch on the subtitles just so that I don't miss anything important. This is one soundbar where I could comfortably switch off the subtitles and still make out everything that was said. That is just a testament to how good the vocal performance of the soundbar is. Even when it comes to gaming, for example, I played a lot of Spider-Man 2 on this soundbar on the PlayStation 5, and the whooshes of the webs, you know, when you go into the gliding mode and then you have all this sound effects of the wind coming around you, it was absolutely breathtakingly immersive on this soundbar. Even the action sequences in Spider-Man where you're kind of, you know, taking down a bunch of enemies, you had those thuds which sounded really, really good. Astro Bot is another example of a game that has just so many elements when it comes to sound, from the music to the chirping sounds that the bots are making, to the different environmental factors. Especially the level which I recorded on camera was the one where you can use a magnet to pull a lot of metallic elements towards you and then throw them towards certain objects. Just the clinks and clanks were so clear even at very high volumes and at very low volumes, once again, which is a testament to how good this soundbar sounds. Even in a game like Gran Turismo, and this is something that I noticed with very few soundbars, is when you change the camera to the in-car mode, in the driver's seat mode of the camera, you can actually hear the engine slightly louder in the soundbar when compared to the background music. Remember, I'm playing the music rally mode right now. So when you actually pull the camera out to behind the car's view, it kind of gives you a softer noise of the car's engine, but when you're in the cockpit view, the engine sound kind of really picks up. Just a testament to how the soundbar can capture some great details. Even Ratchet and Clank, where you have these conversations, it's just like a Pixar movie. The sound is absolutely phenomenal. Even music, it's a testament to just how good Sony makes their soundbars just for, different types of audio. Whether you're listening to rock, classical, Punjabi music, whatever you're into, it sounds very clear from the soundbar. That's the best way that I can define it. Now, because I had the SW5 subwoofer, there were many times when I kept looking at the subwoofer wondering whether it's come on or not. By default, with room calibration, the subwoofer was set to minimum, but I actually went all the way from minimum to -987, all the way up to +2 and in some cases +4 to get that bang. Now, you're not going to get the bang immediately because you don't need the subwoofer to be active all the time. It's like there's dialogue happening and you're wondering if, the bass is going to kick in or not for an action sequence, and boom, the next scene is an explosion in the movie and the subwoofer just kicks in to let you know it's there, giving you that nice, deep, rumbly bass. Again, the only thing that I missed was the surround speakers in this case. So overall, if you are in the market for a premium soundbar, this is a fantastic soundbar to have. The height experience is not the best, the surround experience is not the best without the rear speakers, and that's very evident. You need the full package, something that you will be spending over 2 lakh rupees if you are actually going to buy the premium offerings, which is the SW5 subwoofer and the RS5 surround speakers. And that is literally my only problem with this soundbar, is the fact that it is a great performer, but it is coming at a very, very, very premium price, especially when you have the likes of the Samsung Q990D, which is the closest competitor I can think of with a full Dolby Atmos setup. This one has 13 channels in the bar itself. Then you count the extra subwoofer, and then you count the 2 drivers in the surround speakers each. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 different channels, and it is very similar on the Samsung Q990D. So the price for me is actually the biggest drawback of the soundbar, especially when Samsung is offering something at almost 1 lakh rupee less when you consider everything that's on offer. This soundbar also has one HDMI pass-through port at the back, which is 4K 120Hz. So if you have an Apple TV 4K or a gaming console and you don't have too many HDMI 2.1 ports on the TV, let's say for example, if you have a Bravia 7, which is a TV I have reviewed on this channel, and that just has 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, right? So if you're using one of the eARC ports for this soundbar, you can actually connect your gaming console or Apple TV 4K to the soundbar and get another HDMI 2.1 port, which is great. The soundbar does not have any other legacy ports like optical, and I think that's okay, because if you're going in for this soundbar, chances are you have a modern TV that supports eARC, and even connectivity to your smartphone via Bluetooth is actually fairly seamless with this soundbar. So there you have it, guys. That was my review of the BRAVIA Theatre Bar 9 soundbar, as it is called. As always, you can let me know what you thought of this video in the comment section below, and for more from the world of home entertainment, you can subscribe to the channel. I will catch you in another video. It's goodbye for now.
left one world and found another. All the blood, all the fire, everything she's seen carried on a hidden tide. This is the end, the point where light vanishes. And yet it is a pale and quiet place. Hush. Can this be the place she fought so hard to find?